a song, Rules of Life, you know, because I think growing up, you know, on the bass right here, my dad he was a vet in Vietnam. He worked for the government to get his pension, and all different ways along the road, like he was loyal to what he was doing, but he kind of got the short end of the stick like too many times. So I grew up in a very jaded, you know, shadow of like how he thought about the government and stuff like that. So like, he was very strict with me growing up. This is life, this is what you gotta do. You're gonna get up every day, you're gonna do this job. If you hate it or not, chances are you're gonna hate it, you're gonna go to sleep, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna do it again, you're gonna do it again, you're gonna do it again, and then you die. Like, that's life, you know? Get used to a kid, you know? And then, like, it's kind of scarred me for, you know what I mean? It's just, man, it's like real, it gives a real dark outlook on things.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I always loved music. That was the only thing that made me escape from, like, you know, my dad was going through hard times. My mom died when I was young. He had to work his ass off to, like, take care of his kids. And so I don't blame him, you know? I don't blame it. It's just how it is. But I just got older, and I quit a lot of the things that I was, like, trained to do. Like, you know, the work I had several jobs. I just, like, I hated them. But I just broke free. I sold all my shit, put it all in storage, went out on tour, and for years and years and years, like, basically struggled with this band because it's the only thing I did. At the end of the day, I felt really good. A couple kids would come up like, man, that song really hits me hard, you know? Maybe I'm doing something that's worthwhile. So that all that time, it just kept me going and going and going, you know? Now that I have a son of my own, like, I want him to come out on tour, see what I'm doing. If there's, I hope he can find something he loves doing so much that he's willing to give up everything for it. You know, like, to me, like, that's life. That's why I call that song Rules of Life. I dedicated that song to him, the whole record to him. It's just like a frame of mind I wanted him to see when he's younger, rather than pass on a little bit of the negativity that I got when I was a kid.
Our new album is, it's a huge step forward for us. You know, we knew that if we wanted to keep making music 5 albums deep, then we had to make the best possible Memphis May Fire record yet. So what we did was we took a substantial amount of time off the road to focus on writing and make sure we had enough time in the studio to record. So I had 2 months off just to myself, just to work on the writing aspect. And I think that that's so valuable. You know, oftentimes bands will go straight from the studio, straight from the road into the studio and have to write on the spot, and you can't always come up with your best material like that. So we took time off for that, and then we also took a substantial amount of time in the studio as well. And I think because of that, like, it really allowed us to create the best record yet.
Yeah, well, I think it's just, I don't know, I feel like every record you do is like a learning process, and I feel like that continues to be the case every time, you know, even if you feel like, oh, now, like, you know, we've got it down, like, we know, like, what we're doing or whatever, you still, like, at the end of that one go, well, maybe we should have done this or that, you know, there's always things that you learn, and so that, you know, I feel like continues to be the case. And now even like preparing for, it's really early, but like talking about doing the next one, there's things that we've learned from Sunnyland that we would sort of approach differently. And so, you know, it just always kind of keeps you, and I guess it's lucky that it is that way. I feel like that kind of keeps it from starting to feel too stale, or like you're just doing the same thing over and over again. It's kind of hard to find that balance of, you know, doing new stuff, but not straying too far from what, you know, makes your band your band, and makes people like your band, and it's kind of trying to find that balance, you know, and I guess we're always sort of, you know, trying to figure that out, but, yeah.
What did Dave say? Terry?
No, someone else says the perfect word. Not magnificent. What was the fucking word? I don't know. It was one of those epic words. I don't know. I mean, I think the title itself like really says what the album is. I am human, right? So you're gonna deal with all these different just parts of life within every song and every different sound. And something we always do is just every like it's just as unique as the individuals who create this music. It's all and the experiences that those individuals have. So it kind of it touches all kinds of sounds, all kinds of moods and feelings, and lyrically it touches on every bit of emotion that we all have and we all go through at some point, whether it's good or bad. So I think it's all right there in the album title. I am human, and I think that's ultimately what will be the strength of the album and what people will connect with is the fact that there's something there to be connected with for everybody at some point. Nailed it. Nailed it.
I would say the biggest difference with the stories we tell ourselves has got to be just the years behind it, the experience, the maturity of the band, how well we work together. We just went in with so much confidence and a lot of lessons that we learned on the self-titled record. We produced that whole record. I was the main producer. I did some of the production with our manager as well. And going into this one, I knew how I wanted to do it and how I wanted us to work together in different ways. So it was a lot easier on that regard. But at the same time, there was more pressure on this one than I'd ever experienced, just because there was a lot of expectation built up around it.
I think the biggest obstacle with all our records is just basically, coming up with something that's better than what you did the last record, and that's the most important part is upping your game. Is just topping yourself.
All right.
And try not to repeat too much, from things that you've done before. It's like you want to keep that sound. You want to keep Blessthefall sound. So the hardest part is just keeping our sound, being honest to our fans and our own sound that we've created.
Great.
But just coming up with new material. You don't want to keep writing the same songs over and over.
Yes.
I just wanted to connect with people with some of my favorite records connected with me, and then that'd be amazing. I feel arrogant saying it, but we just put so much love into this record, and we're so proud of it that if it can have that effect, that's amazing to me. Because there are so many records we grew up loving, and that's always the goal with every record. You want to and Rancid's an Outcome of the Wolves, something like that. The impact that record had on me, if we can do that, that is really the dream come true.
What's cool is that when you put out a new album, you want people to react to it when you play the songs live. And that's a hard thing to do when you put out 7 albums. But with this album, it's really been happening more so than our last several. Yeah, Happiness is. I mean, a couple songs off Happiness is. Our last album went well, and the self-titled, there was no reaction at all. So this album has gotten the best reaction.
Yeah, well, I guess it's hard to pick something as being different or better, but I think this time around we were just a lot more sure of what we wanted to do. When we recorded Node, We were, I guess, still trying to figure out where we were headed. It was still very early in my time with the band, and yeah, this time around we just had so much time to like work together as a group on little things and yeah, really hone in on what we wanted. And I think we were all just a lot more comfortable as a group over the last yeah, 2-3 years.
Last time we spoke, you said when you joined the band you had to learn to be a shelter from a singer.
Yeah.
And I get the feeling you're doing more singing on this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was something that was always going to just naturally make its way in. And I guess it was something we tried to do on Node, was kind of not just scream for the sake of it. It was more of, you know, if it fits, then do it. But I think more so on this record, we really, yeah, just tried to bring it a bit more into it. And even still, there's still a lot of heavy screaming parts.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, there's I guess songs that have just singing on it on this record, where we only had, I guess, Weightless on Node. And yeah, it's I guess it's a lot more in my wheelhouse. It's a lot more up my alley. So yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, so do I.
That was unusual. Maybe probably just some of the vocal techniques I was doing, just to, yeah, just to kind of get some of those like more gritty sort of tones. Because I'm a very clean singer by nature. Like that's the way that my voice, especially in lower registers. But to try and get that real kind of crackly, lo-fi sort of sound, what we actually ended up doing was sitting on a couch, not unlike this one, with just black coffee and whiskey. And I had a microphone down here, and I was literally leaning forward, like digging down in the dirt and sweat it out till it doesn't burn. Like kind of doing that, like over the microphone like that, which was basically unlearning every good habit I'd ever taught myself or been taught. And it just, it was definitely an unusual way of getting it. Like there was a couple where I was like leaning back like this on the same couch, just like singing up at the roof, and just a few things like that, just to kind of get different textures and tones.
For me, I think it's a moody album. I think there's a lot of like roller coaster peaks and valleys and stuff. But it has an energy to it. It has like a vintage feel. It has, we try to keep a lot of tempo to it. We try to make it sound youthful. It definitely has, you know, everything you expect from what we do, which is singing and screaming, a lot of melody, rock guitars, stuff like that. So what we wanted it to be like kind of right out of the gate, you know, trying to push as hard and as fast as we possibly could while taking those deep breaths in between the albums, or in between the songs.
I mean, why not? It's fucking awesome.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I don't know, like we said before, there's songs for everyone on there. There's softer songs, heavier songs, songs with barely any drums at all. I mean, it's just a wide range of music, so I feel like kids that listen to metal would love it, kids who listen to pop music would love it, and it's kind of just for everyone. We didn't really target one certain audience, we just kind of wrote whatever we wanted to write in hopes that people would like it, and so far it's our most successful record yet, which is a good thing. So yeah, it's been awesome so far. But yeah, just everyone should fucking listen to it, because why not?
Exactly.